Well, here we are at bonus lesson number 6. I hope it's got a few things in here that will make you think. I just have a few last words that I want to say about growing older with gusto. And I also want to provide a few links for when you want more information. I've added those and a couple of book recommendations for you as well on one of these slides. So I have found some incredibly helpful sites as I've gotten older, and I've gone to Dr. Google for some information, and I keep them a whole file of those that I need when I can go in and look at something. So I thought you might be interested in a few of them, and I have those listed somewhere else here. So here at last are my last words to you. The first one is, don't worry about getting older. It's going to happen whether you want it to or not. So, I guess all of us might as well work out the best way to do that without falling into a stereotype. Do as much as you can to stay as healthy as you wish. The longer you stay healthy, of course, the more years that you'll give yourself. If you need to make a few adjustments to your lifestyle, and most of us do, then do that. The main thing, I think, is no matter what else goes on in your life, live your life with gusto. Nothing lasts forever, even the bad stuff. And sometimes snubbing your nose at problems is the only way through. Figure out what gusto means for you and make every minute of your life one of gusto. What does it mean for you? Whatever you do, don't sit at home and mope about getting older. Don't be afraid to get out and mingle with society, meet some new people. And dare to travel alone if you're no longer a couple. I travel alone a lot, and I really enjoy. In fact, I like it better than having other people along. That I feel like they depend on me. And be daring in general. That's part of gusto. Don't ever think of yourself as just too old to do something that you really want to do. In other words, just forget about your age. Just do whatever you want to do. You might even want to make an about turn in your career as you near retirement. Start something that you've always wanted to take up. One of my sons was a damage controlman who did welding as a Coast Guard chief. And he decided he'd always been cooking. Ever since he was a little boy, he would cook with me. And he decided he wanted to be a chef, so he went back to the Cordon Bleu Cooking School in Portland, Oregon, just before retirement from the Navy. So that's a good time to do something that you've always wanted to do. I think it's really important at this age to meet new people, make new friends. I've had several of my good friends die, and another one is getting ready to move back to the mainland. You have to keep meeting new people, making new friends. And most of all, I guess, just enjoy the rest of your life. Don't make it a misery. And please tell everyone you know about this class. They can still go online and register for it. Go to that particular website, lavalily.com/learn-with-Lucy. Even though this particular class is over, it will stay online and others can sign up and take it, register for it. And I would ask you to also send me a brief evaluation of this course. What would you add? What would you take away? Why did you take it? But most of all, did it change anything for you? Any way of thinking, perhaps, that you've had in the past? And there's my email again for you to use. These are 2 books that I highly recommend for your reading. One is David Sinclair's Lifespan and Why We Age and Why We Don't Have to. But I probably recommend even more so Tony Robbins' Life Force. It's much easier to read, and he has kind of taken the same information from Dr. Sinclair and made it a little bit more readable. So I highly recommend it. But either one is really good. You get a lot out of it. And I'm attaching a document to this lesson with some of the links for you to browse if there's anything else that you want to know about growing older with or without gusto. You've been a great class. You put up with my initial errors. You didn't know what you were getting into. And I have really appreciated your responses for every single lesson. So please, you might consider taking my next course that begins on April 1st this year. Feral Fables, Tales from a Wild Self. It's a book that I wrote back a number of years ago when I was seeing clients regularly. And all of them kept saying, why don't you put all this together in one book? And so I did. So it's available on Amazon, both as an ebook or as a hard copy. And that's what the next course is going to be based on. This particular book, and we'll be looking at some of the fables, how to look at those fables to help as part of a counseling session for you, perhaps. And that's all I have to say. Hui ho.